Hello class. Today we're going to learn about the legendary Irish warrior Fionn Mac Cumhaill. We're going to listen to the story of Fionn and the giant. Fionn Mac Cumhaill was the biggest and strongest giant in Ireland. He was also very wise. He lived with his wife Una in a castle by the sea in County Antrim. One day a giant from Scotland called Angus sent Fionn a letter saying that he wanted to fight him. Fionn knew that Angus was the biggest giant in Scotland, but he wasn't afraid of him. Fionn began to build a causeway across the sea to Scotland. When Angus heard this, he also began to build a causeway to meet Fionn's. After a long time, the causeways met. Angus could now come to Ireland. Fionn's wife heard that Angus was the biggest and strongest giant in the world. She told Fionn that Angus was much bigger and much stronger than him. Fionn was afraid. "We must think of a plan," he said. Fionn's plan was very clever. First, Fionn and his wife had to make giant baby clothes from blankets and sheets. After making the clothes, Fionn dressed up in them. He wore a long brown nightdress and a blue bonnet on his head. He wore giant slippers on his feet. He then got into a giant cradle and put his finger into his mouth. Una smiled and hoped his plan would work. The next morning, Angus knocked at the door of the castle. "I have come to fight Fionn. Where is he?" he shouted. "He has gone out hunting, but he will be back home soon. Would you like to come in and wait for him?" asked Una. "I will wait," said the giant. Then Angus heard a baby cry. He looked into the cradle and saw the biggest baby he had ever seen. "Who is that?" asked Angus. "That is baby Fionn, our son," she said. Angus was now afraid. "Oh no," said Angus to himself. "If this is Fionn's baby, what size must Fionn be?" He ran out of the castle as fast as he could and across the causeway back to Scotland. If you ever visit County Antrim, you will see some of the causeway. It is now called the Giant's Causeway, after the great giant Fionn Mac Cumhaill himself. We will look at this further in our next class.